Hello, everyone. I am Certified Ape, your host. So today we have a very special team in the house. We have Green Energy Miners, and speaking for Green Energy Miners is Kelly, the Green Miner. Next, I'm going to give him the room. He's going to introduce himself and also introduce the project officially to us. So,
Okay, well, again, my name's Kyle. I'm the owner of Green Energy Miner. Um, I have been in and out of the crypto space for a few years. This is actually my first project that I have ran by myself. I've got about 5 or 6 people that we work as a team. While I am the owner and do make the calls, these guys are really my right hands to it. We took over this project. It started last year and just kind of never took off. And the premises of it is finding remote miners who essentially put all of their hashing power together and centralize it to one wallet. One of the big things that we push is green energy. All of our mining sites, which are already up and running, run off of solar power. And we all stay below our threshold to make sure we're not pulling anything off the grid. We have battery backups at our location so we can monitor all of our usages and make sure that we continue to stay on the green path. 100% of our mining payouts, not profits, 100% of the payouts actually go back and they are converted into BNB and buyback and burn or gem token. We use a website called Unmineable, and it allows us to hook up any different kind of miner, whether it mines Bitcoin, Litecoin, Caspa, etc, whatever system someone is running, it will mine it through their pool, and then it will pay us out in BNB into our burner contract. We typically have between 2 to 3 weeks time frame between our burns. It just depends on how much we get. We're still only running with about 4 miners, so we're looking to not only expand our mining operations but also bring in more investors. We As I was saying earlier, this project was started by another team last summer around July of 2022. And then after the Ethereum merge, it kind of just set in limbo for a while. I was contacted by who I would call my actual right hand man, a guy that goes by the name of Jay Sizzle. We had been in a few other tokens together, and we even tried to take over another mining token that never actually launched. And we kind of saw a lot of potential here. We got working together, started talking to the holders. The vast majority of the original holders held for 8 or 9 months without anything going on. So we decided to kind of switch stuff up and actually focus out of our own pockets, getting our mining up and running. So that's kind of where we're at now. We have it up and running. We've went from about a $26,000 market cap to around a $53,000 market cap without any marketing, just making sure our mining sites were up and running, that everything was burning appropriately. And now we're at a stage where we're trying to come in and show this to people and show them what we have, and with an actual functioning product, not promises. You can actually see where it's working and functioning.
all right. Thank you, Joe. All right. This kind of triggers me to ask, and I'm confident to say that the project is a long-term project, no doubt. Yeah, because of the kind of measures I saw on the website. So I would like you to tell us. I would like you to just brief us a little, or let's get a lay down structures. Let's get to know some of the lay down structures you are putting in place at the moment to make sure the project survive more years and more time ahead.
Well, so the great thing with mining is, even though um, there are some of the other tokens, especially Ethereum, that don't continue to mine, Bitcoin is your main token, and it's going to be the main token for a long time. So um, while we're trying to find some other smaller tokens that might be really profitable at this time. The main focus will be mining Bitcoin. I think one estimate I had seen is there will still be Bitcoin mining rewards until like 2140. So I guess at that point my grandkids can worry what they'll do when there's no mining rewards. But our long-term goal is just to continue to add miners, whether it be in people's homes who want to go out and buy a small Asic miner, hook it up, that are off grid. My dreams eventually with it, which admittedly are very long term, would be to have large scale solar, 2 to 3 acres of land, and having containers that contain large amounts of miners. But that's a long time away. But as far as longevity, that's where my goals and dreams are for it now. But like I said, that'll take a little bit of time. So as far as the short to medium term on that, just to continue to find more people that share our same thoughts on green energy, cleaning up blockchains, and adding them in with us, and just continue to expand mining operations. Because as long as we're mining, we're always going to be profiting.
All right. Awesome. So I guess there's a lot of persons in here, a lot of people in here that would like to ask some certain questions. So I'm going to try my possible best to make sure I stick to some few questions about the project, and then so others can have more rooms to ask their own question. So for the sake of trust and transparency and teamwork, I would like you to tell us if you who are the team behind the project. Are you just the one on it, or there are other persons with you? And if possible, what is the story behind the name Green Miners Energy? And yeah.
So as far as the structure behind it, I'm the owner, so eventually everything comes down to me making the decision either way. I do rely on about 4 or 5 people who have a lot of experience with running tokens, that I do rely on, and I ask questions and get their input. But when push comes to shove, I'm the one that's going to have to make the decisions. So good or bad, that all falls on me. As far as the name Green Miner, this was what it started as, and to be honest, I kind of liked it because it kind of combines the two thought processes of where we're at with this. There's a lot of people talk about how energy inefficient mining cryptocurrencies are. So the process of taking that electricity from the grid and utilizing it from green sources, it was kind of how we combined into the Green Miner.
Oh, all right, all right, all right. So I was just something just came to my table now, and I thought it's okay and it's cool for us to just take a look at it very fast. Yeah. For quite some few days, I've been following the update and the current development with the team. And I noticed it seems like you guys have a lot going on right now. So I would like you to just tell us what are some of the important goal or the main goals for the project this year, and the progress of the team so far on them.
So in the last few months, we've updated and created new socials, new websites. I'm trying to go through, and anything that I see that needs to be updated or put out to help give investor confidence. So, and I also welcome, criticism on anything that you guys might see, because I want to fix it. We are, again, just trying to push out publicly to find more people to mine. So that's kind of our main that's our main priority right now. We have reached out to Unmineable to try to get customized referral codes so people can add us to their, if they're already mining. We're just trying to reach out to people in the space that can kind of connect us with more miners. So adding more miners is really big on our priority list. We recently started trialing CPU mining. So people who may have may not have the means to buy an ASIC miner or even a GPU rig can hook up their basic desktop to it. We've started looking into Caspa miners, which seem to be really profitable right now. We have one that's on order, and it should hopefully be here relatively soon. We'll kind of just have to see how that goes with how profitable that stays. They're releasing a large number of ASICs within the next month, so that may not be a long-term option, but we won't know until we get on that ship.
Oh, all right. Okay, thank you so much, Doug. All right, so let me say this real quick before we begin to go into some other aspect of the AMA. Let me make it this basic and simple, like an amateur or a beginner. There are a lot of persons in here that don't even know what mining is, and one of the outstanding future of your project is mining. Yeah. So since you're the expert here, I would like you to brief us or tell us how this mining works and what are the reward mechanism attached to mining, if there is any.
So mining is essentially validating transactions. So anytime you buy, sell, or swap Bitcoin, it has to be validated. So with a blockchain, each block comes out and it essentially has um, a receipt, so to speak, of what all's happened between the last block that was mined and the one that you're currently on. And it's basically a battle for different mining machines to try to solve the equations that are on each different block. So you have a large scale people that are all fighting for it. And that's why it's so power hungry now, because it went from people being able to do it on a basic desktop to needing graphics cards, and now these ASIC miners, which are the ones that people might see and be more recognizable with. Um, so whenever that transaction, whatever miner validates that transaction, you're given a reward. Right now for Bitcoin, it's 6.125 Bitcoin per block, and they release a block about every 10 minutes around the clock. So we're vying for our share of that 6.125 Bitcoin whenever we're mining. And when you mine through a pool, it's essentially a large group that are all getting together, putting all their miners together and pointing it at it. And if that pool hits that block, then it's distributed evenly among those people. There's also solo mining where you could just hook it up, but you're essentially one person against millions. So that's kind of like a lottery. And that's pretty much how mining works for any mineable token.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, Doug, for that. And right now, I would like to switch the mic over to Alexander. He's going to continue the rest part of the AMA. So guys, just keep up. And if you have any question you want to ask, just drop it on the main chat. I'll be there and I'll be checking, and also I'll be listening. All right, Alexander, you up?
Okay, thank you, certified, and welcome, Carl. It's really nice to meet you, and it's nice to hear more and learn more about the project, the green energy mining. Now, I have a couple of questions. First of all, I'm gonna talk about the transparency and how I'm gonna describe it. What what makes people sure that you are? I'm not trying to offend you, but how to give investor confidence that they are safe when they are mining or buying the token. And the other question is, what is the token, the native tokens that you have to use to buy the green mining energy token? I saw like CZ uh, USD, maybe I think. So what people need to do to buy the token? This is
Well,
my first question.
okay. So as far as the safety, on a miner standpoint, there's nothing that you would load to your miner. So if you got in, didn't like it, you could just change to another mining pool. So we don't have physical control of anyone's miner, no matter where they're at or what they're doing with it. So they always have control of that. If they don't like what they're getting out of it, they can change it somewhere else. So we can't mess with their miner. As far as investors, I mean, we've all been in this space. We kind of know what can happen, and that's one of the things we've tried to be transparent with who we are. All of our socials have at least a couple videos where I've been in it. I think it even has on our Twitter page. I'm located in West Virginia in the U.S. So trying to be as transparent as possible so people can kind of have a face to go along with it. I feel like any time that I've been in a project that's something bad's happened, it's usually when it's when people have usernames that are tied to the group and don't say, what their real name is or don't have a connection to it. So, I mean, ultimately just trying to be out there so people can have a name to go with the face. Now, as far as how to buy and everything, we are through the C Zodiac ecosystem. It's essentially provided liquidity, and they actually do a lot of help as far as if we need anything with the contract or things like that. They provide a lot of services to us to help us out. And they're actually a pretty good lifeline whenever I have questions that they can kind of show me what's going on and help with that. As far as our token that we're binded to, it's CZUSD, which is their native token, and it's basically a stable coin, and it's what backs the ecosystem. So you can still buy it through PancakeSwap. You just would have to switch BNB to CZUSD, and then you can swap that to GEM. Or you could even go through their exchange, which works like an even better PancakeSwap. It's called CZ.cash, and you can buy directly with BNB through there. You don't have to.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so you said first when we started the AMA that all the mining go to one wallet. This is what I meant when I asked about the security. And maybe I understood you wrong, or I don't know, but seems legit. Now, for me as an investor, and I don't do mining, what benefits that can I get from green energy mining as a revenue, as a profits, Is it just the token or there is some other utilities?
So as far as with the wallet, I didn't do a good job of explaining that. It's a burner contract, so it functions. Basically, I just trigger it. It can also be set up with Chainlink automation to do that at a set time or amount. We just don't have the volume for me to justify, say, burn every time we have one BNB or burn every this. That's why it's a little different in the time frame. But it's a separate contract that only function is to buy and then burn the GEM token. As far as an investing standpoint, I mean, we're consistently burning our token. We've went, like I said, with no marketing push or anything like that, just working within ourselves and our burning. We went from 11 cents to 22 cents and $26,000 to $53,000 market cap. So, I mean, we're always going to be moving up in some way, shape, or form as long as we're mining. So as long as we're still mining, we're going to be removing tokens from supply. And we also have our tax on our token it's 10%, but it's only for burning as well. So there's no dev wallet or marketing wallet that gets fed from transactions. That all burns too. So anything that goes in or out of GreenMiner gets a 10% burn, and then the whole mining wallet burns.
Yeah, perfect. So basically, that the normal investor, not the people that are interested in mining, the only way to get benefits from green energy miners is the token, right?
Yes, for miners at this point, we don't have any sort of rewards base for the miners other than to encourage them to buy the token. That may change in the future. It's something that we've had some talks about, that we may end up having to do that to bring people in. But at this point, we don't want to give away huge chunks of tokens and just for people to come in and mine for a short amount of time and then sell them and wreck it. So that is kind of a challenge on our part to try to figure out how to get people to buy in and literally buy in and then put their miners with us. But we have been able to expand. We do have some people that have solar setups that are now starting to ask questions on how to get involved. And I think people are seeing, that buying one ASIC miner running on your own solo, you're not going to make much money. But if you get it part of a group, it might take you 5-6 months, but you're going to make a far significant profit than what you would just do on your own.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you very much for taking the time to answer my questions. Yeah, I'm fine with it. It's all cool. And thank you, Certified A, for the chance. I was really interested in GreenMiner. As soon as I saw that the TG, the Bennett message, I was really excited for this MMA. And yeah, thank you for the chance, and I hope that you will get to 1,000 members soon. I know that your group got deleted today, unfortunately. So thank you guys, and good luck. Good luck, Kyle.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Alexander. All right. So, Doctor, thank you so much for the awesome answers to that question. So, up next, before we begin to take other questions from the main chat, and I would like you to give us a breakdown of the team tokenomics and also the utility attached to the project, if they are ready or available.
So I'm not 100% understanding from fraudsters. So the only way people would be able to show that they were actually putting in the effort, and I assume this is towards like actual miners, you can't fake the hash rate. It's either there or it isn't. So if someone connects to our pool, we'll see it. We can pull that up through the Unminable's website, put in our wallet where it comes to for our burner contract, and it'll show if there's 5, 6, 10, however many miners. So there's not a way to make it look like it. Of course, someone could get in the chat and say, "Hey, I've got these 2 miners," and they can talk and say all they want. But if it were to be a position where we were going to actually pay out rewards, we would have to bring them in, and we'd have to actually talk to them in a private setting through like a private mining group. They'd have to show to us that they have the machines. We would work together. We would give them the actual URLs for where to mine. We would give them the wallet information, and then we can put a unique worker name in it. So we could give them a specific worker name, just a random 6-digit number or a word or whatever, and say, okay, put this in with your worker name, and we would then know that the person that came to us with this username stated they had this miner, they were going to put this hash rate out for us. We gave them this code, and now that code is showing up on our Unmineable website. I hope that answered it. I hope that's what you were going for with that one.
Yeah. Thank you so much for answering that. Though I was asking if there's a breakdown. You guys have a native token, right? I'm sure you do.
No, we just have the one on the BSC chain.
Oh, that's fine. All right. So let's fast forward to the next question on my mind, and I would like to know one very important thing here. This is crypto space, and everybody have a serious attachment towards developing their community. But I just noticed you guys are just, sorry to say, but you guys are just out of the zone. So what is your plan to keep up with the community engagement and also with the growth?
Well, community engagement is, when we've only got just hit 200 members, it's we have to find people that we trust, that we can continue to utilize our social media, that can keep our chats going. I'm hopeful that that's something that we can kind of find as we go. We do have a good core group. Admittedly, most of us are within the same couple time zones, so it does make that more difficult. We just have to search out people and weed through the people that reach out to us. We have people, especially in the last week, that have came out to us saying that they can provide this and they can provide that, and we're basically telling them, you know, show me. You know, if you want to be a part of this, if you want to be a community member or a moderator level community member, you've got to earn it. And we've got some people that are starting to try to do that, and I feel like when people kind of earn their keep, it works out better for everybody than just throwing people in there.
All right, awesome. All right. So Doc, one more thing. Thank you for that. And so I would like to still ask you, if what's your level of interest in trying to, not everybody. I don't know if the project is designed for, like Alexander asked earlier, if he's not a miner, maybe he's just a regular investor. What is going to be his revenue? I would also like to ask from that same perspective, but different approach this time around. Are you just designing the project for people within crypto space, or you also have a target to reach out to people outside crypto space, get miners outside crypto space? And if you have plans to reach out to people outside the crypto space, what are some of the structures you're putting on ground to do that?
So they're actually, and that's a great question because it is something that's been brought up. When we would get to the point of having a large scale setup, whether that be solar, hydro, whatever, we had even talked about having areas where people could do what's called miner hosting. And what happens then is someone buys a miner, they pay a price, we host it, take care of all the upkeep, make sure it's running it safe, and then they get a portion and then we get a portion. So that's something that's definitely came up as a way to bring people that maybe don't have either the time, space, or knowledge to run a miner. Anyone that's been around an Asic miner, they're loud, 75 to 80 decibels. They get hot. I have a room in my house that's just where it stays. It's blocked off. It has its own, cooling area. A lot of people don't want to do that. So we have talked about that, and that is definitely on our radar. But that's once we would get to that spot of, at that point we have to look at, we don't want to sacrifice the token by buying, selling, anything like that, or adding a tax. We would have to look at outside sources as far as funding, a loan or something like that to get to that point. But it is definitely on the radar, and it's something that, all-time goal list, it's definitely probably number one. But I'm not going to say that it's an easily attainable one right now. But this is kind of the step to that, by showing that this works and we can prove that this is functioning. Then we can look at into large scale.
Oh, right. All right. Awesome. So next, we're gonna do a little mind test, and it's still a question relating to your project. Although I might digress a little and ask you a little question about your profession and also how it relates to your mining techniques right now. But before I do that, I would like to know something very important. Growth demands that you have some partners if really you want to. That's the story, or that's the theory they sell these days on crypto space or in company wise. You need partnership in order to grow. So I would like to know if you have some strategic partnership ongoing for the green energy miner community, or you're just not open for partnership at the moment.
Well, we're always open for partnership. I have reached out to Unmineable as far as getting the referral codes, which I talked about earlier, and I'm hoping that might lead to some sort of partnership there. I haven't got anything back from them yet. That was just earlier. I've actually been looking at the local town that I live in has some vacant land that they don't utilize, that I've kind of thrown out the idea of talking to some people about potential uses. I've just not pushed it really far because at the same time, I don't want to get some people hyped up for it when I don't really have this at the level it needs to be to prove it. So a lot of that's kind of just hinging on continuing to grow this and to show to people that have the backing or the finances that can really push us. You know, we've got a good product and here's how it's going. And this is what we've done, just utilizing 2 or 3 people mining out of their house. We added a few people here, and we can do this on a large scale. This is our foundation that we've already laid. So that's kind of where I'm going with partnerships and things like that. And you know, I'm sure you deal with this. It's kind of hard to weed through some of the people that come in and say they can provide you the world, and find out the ones that are legitimate.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so Doc, let's do a little digression and little. We'll be back to the project, and then we keep discussing. And guys, just in case you have any question you would like to ask, I guess this is the first time I'm hosting a mining project on the lounge. Yeah, I mean the new lounge. Yeah. So if you have any question you want to ask, you want to know, feel free. This is completely an educational forum. Yeah. So whatever we do here, it's not a financial advice. Rather, we tend to make everyone stay at the same level of knowledge. Yeah. So I just want to know something different. Away from the token or the project, your transition. What inspired the transition from medical personnel? Sorry, I'm invading your identity. What initiate, or what was the purpose, or what are the drives that led the transition from a medical personnel into a expert in mining? Yeah.
So it's kind of a little bit of a weird kind of coming back to my roots story. When I was in high school, quite a long time ago, I was very interested in networking, you know, computer networking, coding. All that stuff was very interesting to me. I originally wanted to do it in college, went through it and got out in the real world and was sitting behind a desk, managing a network, and absolutely hated it. I'm a mover. I don't do well at a desk. So I switched up into the medical field. I work in surgery. I am literally frontline in it, hands, mostly just hands deep into into it on a regular basis. Total joint replacement, knees and hips, 15 to 20 a week, and I like it. It's beneficial. You know, you're helping someone, but
Yeah.
if anyone's up to date on the healthcare system in the U.S., it's not the best place to live as far as working. Um, as far as crypto, along with probably a lot of people here, heard of Bitcoin in 2010, 2011, and thought it was cool, but never put much into it, regrettably. Then probably 2016, 2017, a really good friend of mine at work, she came up to me and was like, "Hey, have you heard of this crypto stuff?" And we just started talking and conversation. I got really invested in XRP, which I still am, and still a big fan of that chain. But then it just kind of grew from that. And then I joined a couple Facebook groups talking about XRP, and someone posted, this was right around when SafeMoon was coming out, and hey, have you guys heard about this? And then I started getting into the BSC chain, and I ran across a couple guys through a couple groups, and the next thing you know, we've got a small group of people that have our own group with about 30, 40 people that find projects, and then we all found this other solar mining project that, you know, it launched, and it went up to like $25 million market cap, but they never mined a single coin. We tried to take that over. The one guy I was talking about earlier, Jay Sizzle, he was involved with GreenMiner when it launched as far as an investor. And he was like, "Hey, this is exactly what you're looking for, what you want to do, what you want to do with this other token. It's already running. We can roll with this." And then I got in touch with him, took it over, and that's kind of where I got to here.
Wow, wow, wow. All right, awesome. I'm kind of like mind blown right now. Just happy to know that you had so much interest in coding in the blockchain way before now, and this is a good step to know that the team, the project is on the right path to success. All right, so Doc, I would like to ask you a very simple question, and then just to get your own feedback on it. Yeah, I do this a lot of time, and I think it's also right to ask you. despite the fact that you don't have a native token yet, because and I know very soon you might probably think of that. But let's do this. Uh, we have three major arms in here. We have the investors, we have the community, and we also have the token price. Yeah, so I would like to know among the three of them, among the three tiers or the three arms in crypto space, which one is very important to you right now as a group, as a project owner? And what is your basic reason for picking one of them?
Oh, that's a tough one because I think they're all important.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of portraying to different people that some people need this, some people need that, some people need the price. I think for me, gosh, can you give me the three again? I kind of blanked on the first two. I know you said price.
All right. Yeah, the token price, the community, and also the investors.
Well, I think you have to start with your community, because
Okay.
if you have a strong community, you're going to have strong investors, and strong investors are going to lead to a strong token price. So I think you've got to build trust with people and build a foundation, and if you focus on token price first, somebody might make some money, but the vast majority of people is not. So it if your heart and mind's in the right place with it and you're wanting to do something, you've got to focus on your community and building that and strengthening that, because if you have that, everything else is going to fly with it.
Oh, right. Okay. I find that very creative, and a lot of people have different approach to it. I've heard some say they have great interest in the investors. Others who go for the price token, because without the price token, the investors won't be there. And others who just stick to the community, believing that the community is everything. And I'm just happy you just have your own approach to it, and that's fine. And I respect that a lot. All right, thank you so much, Doug, for all the answers to the questions you've been providing on this IMA. And so one more thing I would like to know, which is very, very vital to me and also vital to the audience in here, is what are the advantages of mining with green energy miners?
So you're essentially, and what our mantra is, you're cleaning up a blockchain. So if you're actively mining and you're using green energy, you're diluting the thousands of mining sites that are just running off of coal or dirty energy. And one person doesn't make a huge difference, but if we're fighting the battle as a group and we're all sticking to the green energy backing, we can really do a lot to knock down the carbon footprint that mining has. And I've seen some atrocious numbers on what some of the larger scale mining farms use in relation to actual countries, and I can't verify those numbers. These sometimes could just be um, shock media type things, but mining does use a lot of electricity, and it's got to come from somewhere. And if it's not coming from a renewable source, it's coming from something that's polluting the planet. So if we can jump in on that and water it down a little bit. I always heard a saying when we would have patients that would have infections, the solution to pollution is dilution. So if we can dilute it, we can make it better, and eventually hope that one day a lot more people get involved and feel like this is the right way to go, because crypto is not going anywhere. I think we all know that, even with
Yeah.
some of the governments trying to hamper it down. It's going to be here, and
Yeah,
large
sure.
scale is operating on blockchains, so it's not going away.
Yeah, that's right. I stand with you on that, and I want to also tell everybody in here that crypto is not going anywhere. Yeah, that's the energy and the drive. Why? No matter how many times my channel got deleted, I still find a way to come back in here again. All right, so I'm happy you're just giving you. It seems like we had address rehearsals before the AMA. It's more like you saw all the questions or you're answering them accordingly, and I'm happy for that. All right, so Dr. let's go further. and do some little findings around the project. And I would like to know if you guys, there are a lot of projects that have onboarded, and in one way or the other, they have this unique utility attached to their project, like charity, fundraising for this and that. I want to know if, because I could not find a roadmap to your project, so I would like to ask before we go into details for that, how old is your project?
So it was launched in, I believe, July of 2022. After the Ethereum merge in August of 2022, it just kind of sat dormant. So it's over a year old, but we've really ramped it up since probably May of this year.
Wow, awesome. So the project is over a year. Wow, this is mind blowing. Just to know that it's over a year, I feel it's safe and it's okay. Yeah. But so I would like to stop and also say this to everyone in here. If you've not joined the Green Energy Miners main chat right now, I would like you to do that. Just take a few minutes and go to the pin message on the main chat on our main room in here. There's a link that leads to their main chat, so you can join them. And should in case we don't get to take your questions for tonight, I would like you to ask your question over there. Yeah, the team is super active, 247 available to answer your question. All right, thank you so much, Doc, for your time, and also thank you for the answers to the questions so far. Okay, so still on the question. I want to know what are the plans, or where exactly is the project when it comes to roadmap? Because I could not find a certain roadmap. Does the team have a roadmap? And if yes, can you just take us in a drive through the roadmap, and let's get to see where we are right now and what is going to come next? And if, I mean, when I say come next, I mean let's have a tip of an iceberg of what the team is about to unveil. If there's a product on the pipeline, can you just lead us to the it? Let's get to see it.
Yeah. So as far as like the roadmap and white paper, that's on me. That's part of the learning process on my side of running a project. So I haven't updated any of those yet. But um, in as far as a basic roadmap, we're pretty far down the street on it. We're actively mining. We're actively buying and burning our native gem token. Our next step in the process is finding and searching out new miners, whether that be adding them. I've even talked about adding 2 or 3 more here at my house. Jay Sizzle, he's posted some in the main chat. He's in here now. He has 2 miners at his house currently, potentially adding a third. I'm sorry, he's already bought a third one and is potentially adding a fourth. So our next step in the roadmap is adding miners. We have to add miners to continue to bring in profits, continue to buy and burn our token. The next step after that would be then starting to figure out how we do a large scale build. That would be the huge step on the roadmap. So we're pretty far on our roadmap because we're already running, we're already mining. The few mining tokens I've seen and looked into have all came in with, we're going to take a percentage of transaction tax and buy miners. Well, we're not doing that. There's no dev wallet as far as, from the taxes. There's no marketing wallet. There's no funding this wallet. It's, we're doing this out of pocket and we're spending our own money. I know how much money I've spent on it out of mine. I can't imagine how much Jay Sizzle has spent. It's probably more than mine. He's got some great videos on our YouTube channel where he hardwired in the miners with Wi-Fi timers so he can control it based off of
Wow.
his if his solar production is low and he's at work and it's like, hey, I got to shut one of the miners down, we can shut them down. So we're truly staying on the green side of things.
All right.
So
Sorry. Okay, I just pick a little interest on this. I mean, so much interest in this. Sorry to cut you, dog. And how much do you pay him? I just need to know so I can, if I can get him on my team too.
he's not paid, and he's I couldn't afford him if he charged me anything. You see him
Wow.
in your chat right now, and he's been a straight shooter with me. We had many conversations in the previous token that we tried to take over. We talk we're in 2 different time zones in the U.S. I don't want to put out his location without his permission, but I'm on the East Coast in West Virginia, so Eastern Standard Time, and he's on a different time zone, and we communicate, pretty regular throughout the day. I have some blocks during the day where I just can't talk being in surgery, but we'll catch up as soon as we're done. So, yeah, he's worth well more than I can afford.
Wow, wow, that's awesome. I love that. All right, you can go on. Thank you for, sorry for breaking in. I just wanted to know because it's very rare to find people like that on crypto space, except they are your family members. And I'm surprised you guys are in different locations and he's actively with you like that. All right, so you can go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, we were talking about the roadmap. Is that where we were at before that?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the main thing. I mean, we've already checked off a lot of notches that would be on the roadmap. I mean, we have the miners, we are mining, we are buying and burning token. That's actively happening. If people go back in your chat, we always post about it. We post about it on our Twitter. We give the amount of tokens that were burnt. We're functioning. That's the thing. We're not looking for people to join in to give us the money to get going. We're going. And the big and the big processes will not require money from investors. We would have to go through an outside scale. I mean, an acre of land can hold about 2,000 panels, which I've already looked at, and panels are probably about $500 per panel. So you can kind of see where that goes. A 40-foot mining container is $100,000. That'll hold 200 miners that run about $1,500 to $1,800 right now. So I mean, we wouldn't expect investors to cover that, and that's where we would have to come in and do our thing on that side and utilize outside sources for financing, banks, loans, or if we had a investment type of group that wanted to come in, or if there's investors that want to come in and say, hey, we've got the backing, we want to support this, we would love that too. If we could keep it all within GreenMiner, that would be even better. I would love not to have to reach out, but at the same time, I couldn't expect investors to foot that bill. But like I said, we're already pretty far down the line with the roadmap. We're farther than actually any other token that I've been a part of, and I'm sure there's some that actually are mining, but most all the ones I've been a part started off, raised money to buy miners, and then miners never appeared. But we have them running, and we have a link in our site where people can check, and they can even look on Unmineable and see our mining operations running right now, like what's going. And if Jay Sizzle's listening, maybe he can post that link in your main chat so people can check that out to Unmineable. And you just click on it and you'll see, if you go under the different algorithms, which ones are up and running. And you can see that any time of the day, and it shows out our payout, how close we are to a payout. We get a payout every day at 01 UTC. It hits our wallet a few minutes after that. We build it up about a week, and then we do one burn per week, or maybe 2 weeks, just depends. If we have low solar days, we shut our miners down. This week was probably the best week we've had in a while. The week before that, I know both of us had ours down multiple times. Our vision is to be green, and we can't really push GreenMiner when we're not using green internet, or I'm sorry, green energy.
I understand. Oh, right. So, Doc, I think we've been speaking for over 50 minutes on so far. And so, before I take questions from the main chat, and I would like to ask, like I told you earlier, let's assume this room is full of bunch of I'm looking for a word not to be offensive and abusive at the same time, or let's beginners. Yeah, so we have a lot of beginners in here who are automatically picking interest in the mining already. I can see we just made a pin on how to and what the procedures and steps to follow to do that. And I just want to know, you said something about one of the future, or one of the important part of your roadmap right now, or where you guys are at, is to add miners. So I would like to know, how do you get to add this miners, and what procedures do someone need to take to become a miner, especially with your own project?
Well, the most important part about it is realize how much money you're wanting to spend and how much you're willing to deal with of a miner. Are you okay with spending $1,000 on a miner and realizing that it's going to be a little bit loud and it's going to produce some heat? Then we would push you towards an Asic miner. Jay Sizzle bought his from a company called Canaan. I think the Canaan Avalons. They're really good quality and they're actually pretty affordable. I personally mine. I bought mine off of Facebook Marketplace. I know that sounds kind of shady. It kind of was a little bit. I'm not going to lie, but these are hardware devices. We flashed different software on them so they ran what we wanted and basically brought them back to stock settings. And we were okay with running those machines in our houses. Now, the one miners we're looking at now that mine Caspa, if anyone's heard of it, it's K heavy hash. Some of these are quiet, use 60, 70 watts, which is a light bulb. We have one of those on order. It's going to Jay's house. Hopefully it'll be here within the next couple of weeks. They're extremely profitable right now. We are concerned about them releasing more miners, which can knock that down. But that's something that someone could spend probably $600 once the market kind of floods out a little bit and stabilizes. And you could hook it up right by your computer and hook it up to your router. You never know it was on. That's the kind of the route we, I think, would push someone to if they really wanted to get into an actual ASIC miner. GPU mining with graphics cards is not as profitable as it once was, but if you have free electricity and you're willing to hook it up, it's gonna add to it. Those are a little more time consuming because you got to build it out and you've got to kind of understand how to build out a computer. Which our original rig that we used, it's at my house, was a GPU miner, so I have experience with that, and we can help people get through that. Or there's you can go to their website, unmineable.com, and they have a little app that you can go, and it uses your computer's processor. And it is even smaller amount, but it also doesn't really add any electrical draw to your computer. You probably don't want to do gaming or high depth rendering while you're using it because it's taking up some of your CPU lanes. But that's something that anyone can do. And we do have videos with all of those on our YouTube setup. We do have, as best as we can tell, we feel like they're really good, straightforward tutorials. If they're a bit much, post in the group, message me or whomever, and we'll help you, get through that. But, if anyone's wanting to mine, we want you with us, but you've really got to kind of know the things of how much you want to spend and how much you're willing to deal with. Are you okay with having a room in your house that has a couple miners in that's you're pretty much not using because that's how you got to keep the sound down? So we'll help you get there. We just got to know what you're willing to give up to do it. And we're all about finding deals. I scour Facebook Marketplace every day looking for ASIC miners that fit into what I'm looking for. I'm personally looking for an S19, which is kind of the big bad Bitcoin miner right now, and I'm looking to switch it over to water cooled from the fans, so it would have water pumping through. It would replace the where not the fans itself, the fans would come off, but where the hash boards come in, which are basically like a motherboard. It has the big heat sinks on it, the big, huge metal ones. It would replace those with metal plates that run cooled air through it or cooled water through it. So that's one thing I'm looking at, and that would take away the noise factor and the heat factor. So we're still trying to find as many ways as we can to make it more home friendly for people.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for your patience. And despite the fact that our main team,